Does the movie Barbie reveal to us the antithesis of the Holy Mother of Jesus, the Blessed Virgin Mary? Does it program our young daughters into an Antichrist culture of death? In a recent sermon by messianic Jew Jonathan Cahn, a shocking analysis of the movie was made. Cahn commented on how the first scene's smashing of babies connects the Hollywood movie to ancient Mesopotamian goddess Ishtar, who demanded child sacrifices, and even more, it connects the movie to the dark mystery of the end times, that is, our times, which is filled with the plague of abortion. Cahn states that never before has there been a major motion picture directed at children, at girls, to the effect of indoctrinating them against men. It shows you how rapidly our culture is changing, or rather, deteriorating. In the movie, Barbie herself says this: "By giving voice to the cognitive dissonance required to be a woman under the patriarchy, you robbed it of its power." Such words are used in propaganda and brainwashing, and yet it's aimed at your children, particularly at your daughters, and focusing it all on a doll is a brilliant way to propagandize or brainwash children. And because children are impressionable, such things do and will have an effect as they plant seeds that will impact the future, even of our culture. The continual use of the word patriarchy is presented as something to be taken as an absolute reality in this context. It's a buzzword employed in the writings of radical feminism as a spectre responsible for all the evils in the world. It's a word used by radical feminists, many of whom hate men, and that it's used over and over again in this movie is no accident, because the movie depicts men as evil or dangerous at best. According to Barbie Land, the men brainwashed the women into submission, into being wives. Marriage is viewed by radical feminism as something to be destroyed because men are evil. That's what men do. Men must be defeated in this movie. The idea of men and women actually loving each other, or needing each other, or complementing each other is an anathema. Marriage is rejected. For the sake of the sisterhood, women must separate themselves from men in favour of being with women. Thus, women are not to need men, as they can fulfil all the functions of manhood by themselves, without men, and men likewise are not to need women, as they can presumably fulfill all the functions of womanhood by themselves without women. The separating of man and woman in this movie is not an accident any more than it's an accident that one of the Barbies in the movie is actually a transsexual, or that Barbie alludes to gay masturbation among the Kens in a movie aimed at children. What kind of culture pushes this on children? A sick culture. The movie opens up with a scene of girls playing with baby dolls. The narrator says that since the beginning of time, girls have played with dolls, but the dolls were always and forever baby dolls. The girls are shown with dolls, caring for them as would their mothers, holding them, nurturing them, feeding them, combing their hair, and interestingly, the girls appear unhappy, somber, or miserable, as if they're engaged in an act of slavery that they're forced to be part of. The film depicts the play with baby dolls as slavery, another subtext of radical feminism. And something else. The opening is taken from Stanley Kubrick science fiction, 2001: A Space Odyssey. In that opening scene, apes wake up. Also in Barbie, the girls wake up. So now the little girls are put into the place of apes. It's not an accident. It's not incidental. Apes represent the primitive. So in Barbie, girls who play with baby dolls are represented as primitive, unenlightened, in other words. Motherhood is primitive. Women as mothers with children are primitive. So, to answer the primitive state of women as motherhood, an object appears. It's Barbie. She stands above them as a colossal goddess or a towering idol of a goddess, and she's there to transform them from their primitive state linked to motherhood. Then the unthinkable happens. One of the girls, or primitive ape people in the Barbie movie, cautiously approaches the object. Barbie winks at them. The girls are mesmerized and transformed by her spell. One girl then lifts up her baby doll that she's been caring for, and what does she do? She smashes the baby doll against another baby doll and against the rocks. The head of the baby cracks open and explodes. You see the decapitated head of a baby against a rock, and in every direction is an explosion of flying baby pieces. So the girl then throws into the air the baby to transform it into the words, Barbie. This is the opening of the movie Barbie. It's all there in the very first scene. All that you need to know about the movie, it's all there, it's all exposed, with all its sugar coating and pink colours and smiles. This is the ultimate spirit behind the movie. By programming children to devalue the relationship between man and woman, we are ultimately weakening the divine relationship that any woman may have with the man-God, Jesus Christ. To the contrary, Mary, the mother of Jesus, is the ultimate model of being a woman and of being a mother. The movie's first scene aims to set Barbie as the model or icon of womanhood that young girls should follow. This model or icon is completely contrary to the model and virtues practiced by the mother of Jesus, the Virgin Mary. Instead of rebellion to patriarchy, the Virgin Mary was the ideal model of obedience to God the Father, to the Jewish patriarchs and their teachings. The mother of Jesus was the greatest model of a woman's total submission to God the Father. Furthermore, to the contrary of what Barbie states in the movie, that the patriarchy robbed women of their power, the Holy Mother Mary showed how her submission to God the Father, to the Jewish patriarchy, and even to her husband Joseph, gained for her the greatest of power, that of queenship of heaven itself. The idea that marriage is evil and must be destroyed is also an antithesis to the Holy Virgin Mary, who was married to St. Joseph and who together were the model of Christian marriage, based on mutual and sacrificial self-giving, a state that Jesus Christ elevated to the dignity of sacrament. Finally, we see how Barbie symbolizes the antithesis of motherhood. The mother of Jesus is a model for Christians of how motherhood is not slavery, as the Barbie movie depicts, but it is a redeeming gift. The motherhood of Mary brought about the redemption of humanity through her Son. It is also through Christian motherhood that women reach the spiritual perfection and fulfillment of their vocation, hence a means of life-giving sanctity of body and soul. The Barbie movie promotes a culture that is completely contradictory to Christianity and the culture of life. The person of Barbie herself can be seen as an antithesis of the Holy Mother of Jesus. Barbie is an icon of what the Antichrist society wants girls to become: alone, self-possessed, fruitless, and unfulfilled. Whereas the Mother of Jesus is an icon or model of what God wants women to become: united and possessed by God, fruitful, fulfilled and eternal in His heavenly kingdom.